in front. They're too slow. Push them to the side. 10 o'clock's always really busy. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've made our way along here. This area is known as Water Lane. We are now standing beside Traitors Gate. Traitors Gate, ladies and gentlemen, built with the outer wall during the reign of Edward I. Although when it was originally built, it wasn't known as Traitors Gate, it was known as the Water Gate. Calm down, American Draco. See how we keep our jokes topical and up to date. Above Traitors Gate is St Thomas's Tower, named after Sir Thomas of Becket, the Archbishop of Canterbury. He was murdered in Canterbury Cathedral on the orders of Henry II, he was Edward I's great-grandfather. Above here is the medieval palace. This, ladies and gentlemen, would have been Edward I's royal palace. He'd have moored his royal barge here and then made his way into his royal palace. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you can gain entry to the medieval palace via these stairs to my left. Once you enter that building, you can walk through the medieval palace, pass between the outer and inner walls using this bridge here, which is known as Salvin's Bridge, enter then the upper Wakefield Tower, and from there onto the southern, eastern and eventually northern ramparts. They're all open for you to visit. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to the Wakefield... Oh, there's a ghost! Look! There's a ghost! Kids, that's why you look like you don't know eat your greens. Oh, it's going. Casper's auntie. You've got to be quick. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to the Wakefield Tower, on the 21st of May, 1471, Henry VI was stabbed in the back, murdered there in the upper Wakefield Tower. Now, this was during the Wars of the Roses. The Wars of the Roses was a civil war. It raged on in England for around 30 years. Fought between the houses of York and Lancaster. They're all members of the same family, funny enough, so you think you have a bad Christmas, crucky. Now, ladies and gentlemen, he was the Lancastrian king. With him now dead, the head of the Yorkist family becomes King of England, a man called Edward IV. Now, moving round behind you now, you can see the Bloody Tower. The Bloody Tower was built with the inner walls in around 1220. When it was originally built, it was known as the Garden Tower because he used to have a little garden, which is now gone. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Edward IV dies in 1483. He leaves behind his son and heir, 12-year-old uncrowned Edward V, and he also had a younger brother called... Oh, there was another one as well, I'll get back to you. 12-year-old uncrowned Edward V and his younger 9-year-old brother, Richard the Duke of York. Yes! Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I was the first one that could sober up. It's not going to get any better than this. I can barely remember my own name. I'm not entirely sure where I am. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the two boys declared illegitimate by their uncle, Richard the Duke of Gloucester. He was then crowned Richard III. The boys were brought to the Tower of London and imprisoned in this tower. By August, September 1483, the two boys had disappeared, never seen again. By the way, their uncle, Richard the Duke of Gloucester, now crowned Richard III, he only survived 2 years himself. He was killed at the Battle of Bosworth Field. The old famous saying from Shakespeare, a horse, my kingdom for a horse. And the man called Henry Tudor then walks over to his dead body, takes the crown of England from Richard III's head and says, Duet mon droit, by God and by right. Now, Shakespeare writes about all of this in his play Richard III. And in that play, he refers to this tower as the Tower of Blood. It became known as the Bloody Tower a lot later, probably during the during the Victorian period. Sorry, I told you I was the first one to sober up. Other famous prisoners kept in the Bloody Tower, ladies and gentlemen, Sir Walter Raleigh. He was locked in there for 13 years by a man called James I. James I of England, James VI of Scotland. Part of a plot, apparently, to put Arabella Stuart on the throne of England. We tortured poor Sir Walter Raleigh on a daily basis, for we locked him in that tower with his wife and 2 children. Oh, man. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to stay with me during the tour, I'm shortly now going to be passing through that archway. As we go through the archway, on the entrance, you will see 2 metal bars with spikes on. They are known as Wellington Wellington's chairs. They're put there by the Duke of Wellington to stop soldiers hiding in corners and smoking whilst on duty. Follow me.